how do I stay my head above water? How do I make people happy? How do I continue to utilize this like platform that I've built? And then also like, where does that go?
We're here with Kyle Stumpenhorst. Give us a quick intro, Kyle.
Yo, I'm a builder, Illinois. I custom build, put the belts on every day, and man, I just share the story on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all that stuff.
So what's fun about this, Kyle and I have done, he's been on the podcast a couple times now. This one's a little unique because it's live. A lot of my podcasts are, in person, they're via Zoom, but they're offline. And so it's very rare that we have audience engagement. Now, Kyle and I go way back. We're going to talk about that a little bit. But for the audience here, again, this is going to be published. Feel free to raise your hand. If you have specific questions for Kyle,
or Brad,
that the superstar that Kyle is, or me, feel free to interrupt us and we could answer those questions. We don't need to wait till the end and do some Q&A. So this is a live, active conversation with our audience. In the meantime, I'm going to get it kicked off. Just a quick intro. So I was telling Emily, I said, Kyle and I go way back to when we only have 1,000 followers.
Yeah.
I think Kyle and I both hit about 1,000 at the same time. And credit to Kyle, I'm going to give them some kudos here. I actually speak about Kyle a lot in this sense. A comment I often get as a builder is, okay, Brad, well, you have these fancy kitchens, you have these great custom homes, so of course you can advertise. And I said, listen, look, go follow RR Buildings. I've probably sent you hopefully a lot of followers, but I tell them to go look at Kyle because I said, look, the thing about social media is you're trying to build a brand, which Kyle has done is, there's riches and niches, but it's not even that. What Kyle's done is he's showcased a skill set that you have in post-frame construction. And not only is your business booked out, which I'm sure you can speak about, but you do a great job educating. I find so much interest in your videos from showing me how you use these tools, how you use these different products like LP, we're sitting in the LP booth, how you're utilizing this in your day-to-day projects. And you do such a good job with, you're an early adopter of drones, you're an early adopter of putting GoPros, on your backhoe. And so speak about just maybe, I would imagine some of that strategy was by accident, unless it was intentional, but how that has changed over the years.
That's funny because people always want to know, how do you do it on social media? How do you grow a brand? How do you make videos and get partnerships and sponsorships? And it's like, it's not that difficult because if you love it, if you're passionate about it, I always say, like, whatever you do, do it at 100%, okay? So don't half-ass anything. Don't half-ass your buildings. Don't half-ass your family. And if you're going to do social media, don't half-ass it, right? You know as well as I do, there's a lot of work that goes into it. If you don't love doing it, if you don't do it for kind of what I would consider the correct reasons, you're going to maybe start and fizzle and die, right? But I love it because I feel like an artist, okay? We're just dumb contractors to a lot of people, but I think what we do is art. We build the world around us, and when I'm done with what I'm doing, I'm proud. And I like to take pictures of it. I like to film what I'm doing. Yeah. And through that, all of a sudden, I could also share it. So this goes back, 2015. I probably put my first pictures up, 2014.
We're probably using filters on them,
Oh, everything is filtered.
Yeah.
It's horrible. Yes.
Back then, 4, like the quad.
Yeah. And, I never had a strategy.
Yeah.
People like, well, how did you do it? Man, I just did it. And it just happened. And I think a lot of times, people are so focused on some end goal, and you got to have goals, but you got to live in the moment and you got to do what like you're just loving. And I think that through following the passion, which was for me sharing, educating, creating, it just took off on its own. And I think people feed off that energy, and they, if they're getting some out of it, then it's value to them. It doesn't always have to be education or inspiration for their next house. Maybe it just makes them feel good that there's something cool happening,
You mentioned, passion is really important because you showcase that, Kyle. You do a really good job of showing your passion for the industry, for the trades. There has to be that authenticity behind it because that makes you real. I know the first time, for me, it felt like I knew Kyle before we met in person. And over the years, we got to know each other very well. But, you are who you are on camera in person. And I think that's unique, and that really adds to the value that you bring to the user. But again, another element that people need to understand is that, you don't have to have a massive marketing fund in your company. You don't have to have a ton of money you're spending. Maybe you get to that point because you want to. We have a mutual friend, Nick, that's invested in that side. But I know Kyle specifically, he may not talk about it, but he would be traveling between jobs and you're in the passenger seat with your computer open, doing YouTube edits. You're doing Instagram. So what
We just live on Instagram.
working at night when a lot of us baby surfing TikTok. I mean, TikTok wasn't around then, but you're actually being productive in your off time creating videos.
Well, I think the thing that you mentioned was authenticity. It's a very important thing because imagine living a life where you are trying to portray somebody on the screen for everybody else. Well, if you do make it somewhere, if you grow and people want to then see you, meet you, talk to you, and you're not that person, could you imagine having to be fake all the time for people? That would be miserable.
Yeah.
Just be you, because there's how many people in America? 350 million? There's how many people in the world, right? You don't have to try to, if you want to be viral, you don't have to be somebody for everybody. You can be somebody for the thing that you're like loving, passionate about. Like, I'm post frame builder, Brad.
I know. Trust me, I know.
You know, it's like the most simple, and people are, guys, just a barn.
Yeah.
But it's about, there's a lot of people that would love one of those buildings. And there's a lot of people that love craftsmanship and they love tools. And so, like, there's all these kind of niches that go together. And if you're just super, you know, passionate about those things, I don't want to keep using the word passionate, but like, I love that process that brought me to like sharing all those different things.
So what's funny about what Kyle's saying about, he says it's simple and post frame. And again, if you guys have questions on some topics, raise your hand as we go. I'll make note of that. But I have my cousin, who I'm really close with. Our dads are identical twins. He's building in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. And he's building a post frame house.
Cool.
And all of his education to build his own that he's self-performing is from you.
That's great.
And so he's like Kyle's biggest fanboy. So anytime around Kyle, he gets super jealous. But you do a great job of educating. When you know, going back to the brand deal, you've had some great opportunities with some great brands. We'll come, you know, we're here on the LP stage. We're going to talk about a lot of the products you and I are using. How did that first brand deal come for you, you know, early on when you were just building your Instagram?
I think my first ever, and I wouldn't even call it a brand deal, but my first like company that sent me something, it was a buddy that was already in that space, and he was like, you would be the perfect guy to try out this screw gun from DeWalt. And I'm like, they're gonna send me this?
Yeah, a free tool for you.
$200 tool for free. I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And for me, like, I kind of go to 11 all the time, you know? So it's like, I get this thing, I'm pumped. I want to share it. Not because I want DeWalt to send me another one. It's because this is cool.
Yeah.
Like, this new tool is going to make my life, Greg's life, the guy that works for me, like, our lives are going to be better. We're going to be able to offer a better product because this new screw gun is new. We don't have one. It's going to make our job better. I share that. I love it. And it's just like snowballs. You know, it's like people can see that it's not about promoting a product. It's about promoting a solution to a problem. We're here at the LP booth. These products are great. But if you can get behind the why that we love these things, which is what I try to focus on, is how do these things make my business better, my clients' houses, buildings, homes better? That's what really, I think, elevates that industry, because we're not just selling products, we're selling like solutions.
See, I want to come back to that authenticity and why you partner with certain brands, you know, and
It matters.
Yeah, it matters. I mean, you think about, for me, like, there's brands I want to partner with that I'm actually going to be using, that my clients are going to benefit from, that mirror who we are as a company. For you, what initiated that with LP? I mean, we're here now, you represent a lot of their products.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's time efficiency, whether it's that value add for the client and, you know, your sales process.
Yeah.
What are some of the products you do enjoy here at LP and that have been a great benefit to your end user?
Sure. So when I'm in the Midwest, so vinyl siding market is kind of everywhere. Everybody's vinyl siding. I've always been of the mindset we have to do better to separate ourselves. So you talk about marketing, you talk about spending money. Like, I didn't want to spend $1, which is what drove me to, you know, do social media, because that's free. That's my time.
Right.
But then how do I set myself apart? How do we showcase that we're better, we're different? And so I think I always tell the story. I'm post frame now, but my last custom stick built home was all fiber cement. I hated using it, okay? I don't want to like talk bad about it. That's not what it's about. But as an installer, as a person that does the work every day, and I think that's what a lot of builders, you know, like yourself,
right.
If you don't get the feedback from the guys doing the work, you're looking at it, hey, I like the look of this, or so-and-so is going to give me a good rebate deal, or whatever it is. But the people installing it, which was me, I just didn't enjoy it. about a year later, I had an opportunity to use Smart Side. It was a prime product. I was matching in an old style siding on an old cedar home, and it's like, where's it spent all my life? This is easy. I don't need to wear I don't want to get into why all the bad things about fiber cement, but I fell in love with the product. It was easy to install. I could, manhandle it. It wasn't breaking. So it was kind of like, nobody's doing this. I mean, yes, there's Smart Side in my region, but not in my location. It's like nobody's doing this. So if I put this on my next home, it's going to start setting me apart. And then people start asking questions. And for me, that's what it was always about. Same with Weather Logic. You'd see these other manufacturers out there, but then you see my job with Blue.
Yeah.
What is that?
Right.
What the heck?
Completely sticks out.
Yes. So, trying to set myself apart without having to do anything crazy, but just kind of elevate what the standard is, just really was always my goal.
It's funny you bring up the LP Weather Logic, the air and water barrier here behind you, because in the desert, we've done a lot of this product, and you get that drone up, and it totally sticks out. So when you're looking at a differentiator sitting apart, like in Arizona, you don't drive around and see, this color predominantly
sticks out.
Yeah, that sticks out.
Yeah.
So for you, Kyle, one thing that's really tough going back to authenticity, I would imagine there's a lot of brands that are pitching themselves to you.
Yeah.
How are you, selecting those consciously to make sure, yes, this aligns with my brand. It aligns with me. It feels like I can be true. Again, you show a lot of passion so that you can show that. And again, you're trying to over-deliver what they're asking you.
Yeah, 100%. For me, yes, I probably get dozens of emails a week from random brands that want to do something, partner, send a product. And what an honor, what a great opportunity, right? Both because it benefits me, but also because it allows me to kind of sift through the weeds, figure out, try to use products on behind the scenes. You'll never see me just get a brand new product, a new sheathing and be like, untested, this is the best. It's got to get used. I got to like it because I'm a people pleaser. My mama taught me not to lie. It doesn't matter. You always treat others as you would want to be treated. I don't want someone selling me crap because they got paid.
Right. Yeah.
So at the end of the day, do I miss out on some good opportunities? Yeah. There's a lot of money to be made in this space. And my whole thing is I still got to sleep at night. I still got, to look people in the eye. I got clients that are expecting me because I've shared so much. They're expecting authenticity. I can't just take a deal and sell a product,
I would imagine, do you ever have clients that push back, on certain products you want to use? Maybe it's cost prohibitive. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's, hey, I have a relationship with this. How much in your construction world are you negotiating that install, or is it mostly just design,
I bet you this is where we're probably so far apart, me and you are dealing with, I've seen some of your projects.
Yeah, you're in there. Yeah, you've come.
I don't think, I might be able to build a heck of a barn door, man, but I could not do what you do. There's so many things involved. There's so much organization, and kudos to you and your team that you've built over the years, which
we have a great team.
It's been amazing to watch, dude. I remember it was just you, it's just like this whole thing
it's started. It's just me doing a deck or a powder bath. There you go. And then we took them through Project Blow Your Mind.
It's crazy. Yeah. So my clients come to me, and it's a good and a bad thing because they come to me, they've watched me over the years do tons of projects, start to finish. I share everything. They see what happens, what I mess up, what I fix, and they're like, this is what I want. So I don't sell anything. It's kind of like they know my brand, and they're like, I just want the best that you showed. So I have to kind of try to integrate new products that I think are like the next thing into projects where most of the time, man, with people now knowing me through social media, they always feel like they know you. You know how it is. Somebody comes up to you, they feel like they know you, you're like, I don't know you. Clients will hug me, and I never met them before. They're just like, hey, and Greg, he does have small calves, because they'll see us, razz each other on the job site. They think that we're family.
Yeah.
And there is not a question of, do they trust me? It's, we trust you. I don't give bids anymore. I know you're going to, I don't do contracts. It's just, we build them, they're forever, whatever, and they trust us 100%. And it's like, hey, what do you want to do here? Whatever you want, Kyle. Whatever you think needs to be done, that's what we want to do. And that's like a scary position to be in because there is no, no, this is what we signed up for. It's, we don't, We just know that we want you to do it, and you're going to do it to the best of your ability, like it's your own. So we trust that.
I love that you touched on this, because I think we've been spending some time through our marketing strategies and social media. And yes, there's, brand deals, and there's other things you've done to like better your lifestyle for your family and work with great partners that make you a better builder.
Yeah.
But something that's really a goal of a lot of small business owners is where you become a known entity that people trust you. As you mentioned, you've built that trust with the client.
Yeah.
But now, you're vetting your clients better. You have more people of demand that are asking for you. And so what it puts you in a position where, again, you're not chasing the lowest bid. You're not chasing numbers.
Yeah.
Right? You're selling value. How has that now changed your experience in operating for you and Greg?
Yeah.
That you're working for clients that maybe have an adequate budget. You're vetting that out early. How has that changed maybe from a lifestyle perspective now for our buildings, that you're doing projects that actually line up with what you want to achieve?
It's funny because I think because social media is a part of my business now, I work pretty hard at building the best I can, and I probably don't charge nearly enough.
Yeah.
It's part of like just what gets me out of bed. It's what
good middle class.
It's my purpose to kind of go do it, and I feel like that's who I am. So Greg is always like, Kyle, we need to charge more money. And I'm like, hey, do you need more money? Is that what it's about? It's like, no, it's just I don't want to get into numbers, but when I tell people like what we build for, they fall off their chair. It's but for me, I'm comfortable. I know Greg is comfortable. I have another revenue stream and multiple revenue streams. Like, I'm not a greedy individual that says I need to do this. I'm more like, if I can make people happy while also feeding the machine, which is creation of social media, like, I don't need it all, because it all kind of comes together, and it's been a blessing, man.
And I love Kyle, because this isn't no front. Like, this isn't, you're not trying to portray something that you're not. Anyone that's listened to my podcast a long time, I had an early mentor that always said, Brad, generosity precedes prosperity.
Yeah.
And he really showed me, the way that he had taught me is you don't have to charge the most, but it's through efficiencies. It's through reputation. It's through a lot of things that you can work and find happiness chasing a dollar. Yeah. There's a lot of, again, we're not going to go political, but capitalism sometimes has a bad reputation because people maybe take advantage. But when you understand the value proposition of that and understand how to market that, and it actually is built into the ethos of you, like, people feel that. And so the reason I bring it up is because you may surprise people at square foot, but there are efficiencies. Like, you've learned to master your craft, and you have manufacturers that are partnering with you to help with product and save time. Like, a lot of products here save time and labor.
That's exactly right. So that's the big thing for me is I talk to a lot of guys in the space, and they're talking about their process. They're talking about, how do you do it? Like, we see you have all this machinery, you have all these tools. How do you and Greg just do it? Well, so first off, that's a big deal. I have very little overhead. I own all of my equipment over the last 20 years. I can go out, and it's kind of like, I don't need a lot to make a lot. Does that make sense? Because I'm so efficient. I have such good partners. I have such good products that make me just fast, efficient, quality-driven mindset, and it's just done way faster than these crews around us that are 5-6 guys. So my clients are kind of like, how is this even possible? How are you guys doing it for this price? I've had guys say, Kyle, thank you. We're $100,000 less than the next guy. And it's like, they're like, so I could have charged you $50,000 more, bought a new truck at the time, and you would have still been happy, So it's like, but I make good money.
Right.
So to me, it's like, it's not about how much can I make. It's about how much, like, happiness will I have when the client is ecstatic. And that person has always, I had the best clients, man. I mean, I don't think you'll ever find a client of mine that has a negative thing to say about us. Greg and I do good work. We keep it clean. We're just good people, and we deliver, over deliver, So
how far will you travel for a project?
I try to stay 30 minutes or less.
And you can do that. Enough work to say.
Yeah, we're booked into next year. I mean, I turned down work. Like, it's bad. I wish I could do more.
Yeah.
And that's where you start to think, maybe I get another crew.
Yeah.
And then the greed sets in, and you think more and more and more. But guess what? More won't make me happier. I'll be able to make more people happy. But will I? I don't know. Maybe the quality will suffer. Maybe the schedule will fall down. I just know right now I can give everybody that comes my way the best. And some people I just can't help.
Well, there's a business philosophy there that Kyle's speaking about. In my Builder 20, there's a builder actually in Orlando. He's in Winter Park here in Florida. And he, similar to Kyle in a way, is that he's realized that he can do maybe $3 million of revenue as a GC, which in comparison to a lot of builders, I'm sure in Orlando is not very much, but he runs so lean that he's taking 8 weeks of vacation a year. So for him, it's lifestyle.
Sounds like
he's like, look, I'm at a point where, I had 50 employees, and just because you have more revenue coming in doesn't mean you have more net income or less stress or health wise. And so there is a balance as you're looking at how you want to build your company and enterprise to the life balance.
Yeah,
and because the reality is there's no work-life balance. I mean, as much as Kyle's done a great job, like there's still time you're spending. You're on the road, you're running. I'm sure even here you're speaking on stage, but you field in emails as you're walking to your next gig.
Yeah.
At night you're in your hotel trying to catch up.
Yeah. Work-life balance, dude, if we're going to talk about that, that's not even a thing. It's like you have to work hard at what you're doing, and then when you're done, you move on to your next thing. And it's kind of like at some point you have to realize that's the end of the line. There isn't more that I can do. And so that's kind of where I'm at. I was talking to somebody the other day, and I have the fear of commitment now. I've developed the fear of commitment because there's so many things coming all around me, opportunities, jobs, people that want, to use a product or whatever, that I can't even commit. And I'm just like, I'm going to read that later. So that's where I'm struggling. I need to get better. So anybody that thinks they've got it all figured out, it's a constant evolving, your who you are, how you are living your life, how you're getting better. I'm constantly, I don't got it all figured out. People on social media think, oh, Kyle's got it. No, there's always things that you got to get better on. And, it's great, dude. I wouldn't have it the other way though, because if you ain't learning, you're dying.
Totally agree with that. When you think about lead generation, you mentioned that there are some clients you'll turn away.
Yeah.
So how are you funneling clients that line up? Maybe they're willing to wait, be patient, but how are you managing? Because I would imagine you get a lot of inquiries. So how are you doing your CRM to manage that business development angle?
I was talking to somebody earlier, and they're doing AI. They're trying to help builders in AI because it's most guys that are really good builders are really bad in the office.
Yeah.
And it's because we're really good because we're really passionate. We love what we do.
Yeah.
We do not love the job, we love the job site, not the office.
Yes.
That's me. I am not good. So, if you want to go over how my books are set up, how I do my, return on marketing I don't know, man. If you come to me with a job that seems cool and you're willing to say, wait 9 months, I'm going to put you in the back of my head, maybe write it down on a piece of paper, and then hopefully you remind me in 3 months that, hey, you still doing this, Kyle?
Yeah.
I have a fear of committing to that job because I got almost 3 years out a couple years ago. I was like,
so 3-year backlog.
Yes.
Of people waiting 3 years.
People, I was like, hey, I'm about 3 years. Then I started getting friends and family or somebody that I knew that was like, hey, I told so-and-so, but they, I told them you were 3 years out. And I'm like, I can't have that. I'm missing opportunities that are cool. So I have now decided, okay, I kind of fill up the year, but if you want to come to me and talk about next year, nah, I'm not in talk. I don't even want it in my brain because I don't want it to be clouding the vision of what else is coming. And I know that sucks for them. They're like, hey, I'm here, I'm ready. I'll sign the dotted line. I'll be ready for next year. But I can't do that. I'm thankfully in the position where if something else comes that's better, that's just what I'm going to do. If it's closer to my house, that's what I want to do.
Yeah. It takes a lot of faith, though, because one hard thing as a business operator, yes, you built a niche, so there's some opportunity where you have some backlog.
Yeah.
I think for a lot of builders or trade partners, there is this, I don't want to say scarcity mentality, but you understand the fear of business development sales.
Yeah.
Being in construction, you see how the market can change.
Yeah. Don't you think those are the guys that have a lot of overhead, that have built these large businesses?
That's a good point.
So for me, it's kind of like, I know I can always find a gig or a job for Greg and I. Maybe it's not going to be building a massive barn dominium that's going to take me 6 months, even though those are just constantly coming, but there'll always be a job for just us two. I don't have 10 guys I got to keep jobs for. I don't have, designers and architects and people that are around me, which, that's, you're killing it with that. I couldn't do that. I would be stressed, but I have no stress about what 2027 holds for me, because there will be something between now and 2027 that I can, if I feel nervous, I could take.
Well, the point is, and how that kind of balances between you and I, is that you never want to be in a position that you just have to take jobs to take jobs.
Yes, that's right.
There's power in no.
Yeah.
And Kyle brings this up in the sense that sometimes there's this opportunity cost. Maybe you're still going to make profit on this job, but it could cost you that work-life balance. It could cost you a lot of stress, years off your life. Like we've had those clients, at least I have, that make me want to quit the business. Yeah. And that does happen on occasion. But the reality is you want to be able to position your schedule where when that project comes that really aligns with the values of your company, or maybe it's opportunity or the social media or different aspects, that you can say yes because you've allowed that availability in your pipeline.
And I know a lot of people out here might be thinking like, well, that sounds great, Kyle and Brad, you guys have built these great successful companies, but like, how does it get there? And I always answer that question like kind of the same way, is that first off, it's a long time. It doesn't happen in a day. So if you're trying to get there, it's going to take time, right? And to build that trust. But man, in my area, I got more work. I started off as like nobody and became somebody just because I did what I said I was going to do. I was a reputable builder who didn't cut corners, who answered his phone call. And don't you feel like in our industry, if you are just, if 10 is like the best, if you even hit like 6 or 7, you're going to find work. There's a lot of bad people, and I know that sounds bad to say, but we're losing a lot of people. So those like opportunities are just growing. Like even if the market is bad, the market could slow down, but we're also losing a ton of people. So you've got opportunity if you just are that guy that is willing to put in the time.
Well, what's funny, and I'll give some credit to Kyle here, I'm sure he remembers this, but as you're speaking about this, there is, as a builder, as you're marketing or you're in the trades or whatever your business, you're trying to find what the pain points are of your customer.
Yeah.
And you're going to market to those. And you mentioned communication, right? I had a customer that, pulled me aside early on. I did a project and he gave me advice. He said, look, Brad, keep your job sites clean, right? Keep your job sites clean. Respond, communicate with people. This is low-hanging fruit.
Yep.
When Kyle started Instagram, I'm sure he doesn't do this now with 750,000 followers. But I can tell you early on, every single person that followed Kyle, he'd reach out and say, thank you for the follow.
That's crazy.
And so early on, Kyle's not the success he was today, but you could see you're kind of laying those bricks, as they say, right? You're building that reputation from the community side. You're building to a client. You're being responsive. So you're showing you're responsive to clients and people that will never be your client. Yeah. Someone like me that's just following you on Instagram.
Well, I mean, that's the golden rule, man. I know it seems simple, and it's. I just think, man, it doesn't take much to be extra. Like to be special, because there's a lot of people that just are willing to be mediocre. And so it's no different, no matter what industry you're in. Like if you just give it your all, it doesn't have to be the best. You just have to give your all. You're probably going to be better than the guy who's really good that just doesn't care enough.
Was there ever a time in business that you felt you were not on the right track? Like, am I going to make this? Can I be successful? Like, were there, you brought in Greg. I mean, there had to have been some point where you're like, is this the right decision? I mean, what made you go into post-frame construction?
That's interesting. I mean, this is going to sound cocky, but I think that in life, I will always be successful. Doesn't matter, because I just know that it's part of who I am to do your best. So like, my wife says I'm just like ignorant, and like I have this like thing about me where I just always expect people are good. I always expect that products are good that I'm being sold. I expect my clients are going to be good so I don't get contracts for them. Like, it's probably my downfall, right? But it's also a blessing, because I think inherently it just means that I kind of gravitate and I naturally attract people that are also good. Like, you talk about bad clients. I mean, in all of my years, 20 years, I had one client that didn't give me a full payment, and it wasn't because of us. His wife and him, last day we're cleaning up, and he's saying, his wife comes in the building and she said, this is way better than I expected. You guys, I could live in this. This is gorgeous. I love it. Week goes by, concrete guy shows up, who wasn't not my contractor. Concrete guy didn't do a good job. So the guy didn't want to pay me because I was the GC, right? So it kind of falls on me.
Yeah.
I ended up not getting the money, but the concrete guy and some other stuff happened, and I ended up like still making the same I was gonna make. But that's the only customer that never paid. And to this day, I get referrals from them. So it's kind of like, I don't have bad experience because I don't think I attract bad people. And, maybe that's just luck. I don't know.
Part of it's branding, communication, personality, I'm sure is part of that.
Yeah.
Without getting into what you charge, how do you work your pay structure then on what you're doing? Are you collecting a deposit? Do you have progress payments? How are you working that out to put yourself in a position to be protected financially?
Yeah, so typically, there was a period in my career where we were just building like gangbusters, man. We would put up these shops and we were efficient and we were young. I mean, I'm getting old now, Brad. We're getting old.
We're old timers.
Yeah.
I know. And, we would try the baseball thing and we're a little old now.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. We would be putting them up so fast. It was kind of like my whole pay structure for me was a 40-40-20 pay structure. You sign it, I'll give you, you say the job, you give me 40%.
Upfront.
I show up day one, I want 40%. I got 80% before I do anything. And then I will wait till I am done, and then you're happy, you'll give me 20%. Now, I'm lazy. Like, hey, just give me like 50 now and 50 later. And a lot of times clients are like, can I just give you the whole check today?
Wow.
I just want it done. The money's been sitting here. My wife gave me the go-ahead for this shop.
I waited 3 years.
I'm just happy. Yeah, you told me, my buddies don't believe that I'll even get you to do it, and I am. So it's, man, I'm blessed, dude. I don't even worry. I have to usually be tracked down by my clients for a final payment. I'm not even joking.
Okay, so what are your pain points then? Like, what keeps you up at night?
It's the bookwork. It's the accounting. It's the, taxes. It's making sure I got the right stuff lined up. I'm keeping track of stuff. I want to make sure Greg is always happy. I don't want him going anywhere, although if he does, I'll probably just keep doing whatever, like I'm not going to hire again. That's not going to happen. I'm not hiring again. So it's just me and Greg till we're done. But pain points are probably just how do I get my jobs done? How do I stay my head above water? How do I make people happy? How do I continue to utilize this like platform that I've built? And then also like, where does that go? So building, no pain points. I'll build in my sleep. What we do is basically, I feel like easy now. Maybe how do I integrate new cool products? But that's not a pain point. That's fun.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. No pain points on the building side. Yeah.
This guy's like a model for everything.
Yeah.
In life.
Listen, I like to call it like, I was told when I got started real young that if you're going to work with somebody, find the laziest guy to work with and you're going to learn the most, right? Because they don't want to do work. Well, in my career, I took the things I didn't like, which was working inside of somebody's home, which was dealing with things with a lot of stressors and changes and different products. Like that was why I left kind of the residential and went to post frame, because it was like I showed up, there was very few features that I had to worry about, how many windows, how many whatever, and I could just do it and enjoy the thing I loved, which was building. And so my whole career has been focused to getting it narrowed down so there are no pain points.
What's your goal now when you come to the builder show every year? I know there's a few builder shows you attend throughout the year, specifically IBS, KBIS, as you're here at the LP Building Solutions booth. What are some of your strategies when you're here?
So for me, these things are like this. This is what it's all about for me, because what I do is tiring. You know how much work you put into your day. I know how much I put into our day, and it's almost impossible sometimes to get it all done. And it's over the months of just building and no shows, you don't see people. You're just out at your job site and you're trying to stay a
lonely entrepreneur role.
Yes. And then you come to these shows and you get inspired by all the people's stories, what they're doing, how maybe I've changed their life or their strategies or what they've learned. And it's like, I'm going home, dude. I'm making more videos. This is awesome. Like, it's making a difference. And so these shows are all about community for me. And I'm thankful that having partners like LP to bring me in, to do the talks, to be able to hang out with you for a while. And, what a blessing. That's all I got to say.
Do you have, as you think about social media, do you have a strategy now for how often you post or the content you're trying to put out there currently, or has that changed over the years?
It's changed, man, because it used to be I felt like you had to post regularly at the same time with these hashtags and all this stuff to get notoriety, to get viral, whatever you wanted. Man, it doesn't matter. Just you post when you want. And maybe that's like the guy who has, millions of followers across social to say that. And I don't know if that's true. If I were to start over today, would I try to focus on strategy? But for me now, it's more like when you do something so long, I don't want to get burnt out. And I was starting to hit not a burnout period, but more like is this really, like, is this sustainable?
Yeah.
And does the growth matter? Same thing as, do I need more buildings to make more money? Do I need more followers to get where I want to be? Am I not going to be able to get the message out and to inspire the trades unless I get to 5 million followers? I don't think that's the case, because I think the algorithms, the way that the systems are now developed, it's like the people that want the content that you're giving them, they're going to get it. They don't even have to follow you. It's just, man, they're swiping and that thing is going to feed them the content they want. So I don't think as much about what I need to do. I just keep doing what I want to do. And when I haven't posted to my Instagram all week, just stories.
Yeah.
Most guys are like, oh, you got to do the whole week?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, man, because I'll post when I want to, and hopefully it hits the person that was needing it,
Are you spending any more time on any individual platforms as opposed to another?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, for me, man, YouTube is everything. It's not because they monetize. It's because YouTube is long form. It's evergreen. It's searchable. It's got the legs to last forever. Instagram is great. It's a great way to build a brand, to connect with brands, but it's kind of here today, gone tomorrow. It's just waiting for that next viral swipe, right? But if you go to YouTube, it's because you're looking for something, you're searching something, you're spending time watching and learning, and that's where I really want to leave my legacy. Is 10 years from now, somebody wants to build something, they search, they find my layout video, and they're like, this is what I needed, dude. I now know how to make a square building, So that's what I focus on. It's evergreen.
It's really important information, because as you think about your marketing strategy as a business owner, to Kyle's point, yeah, he has a lot of followers on Instagram. If I go like your photo, that's great for the vanity metric, right? Yeah, maybe you have 1 million views, whatever. But what's unique about YouTube, as it's with Google, is the SEO, right? And how they can drive to your website. I know, I speak a lot about LinkedIn.
Yeah.
What's different about LinkedIn is I can post on LinkedIn, and instead of a vanity metric like Instagram, you like it, and now all of Kyle's network sees you like my post, and so you get, that reach is a lot bigger on LinkedIn, and it's a different demographic. And so again, not to have to strategize between the two or three or four, so many of them now, as you're putting content out there, are you reusing content between the platforms? Are you modifying certain videos for YouTube, certain ones for TikTok or Instagram?
Yeah, I mean, I think that each platform has its use, and that's where it's like YouTube is a very education-based, take the time, explain it, and you've got the person's attention because they came there for that. If you're sitting on the toilet and you're swiping, man, you're not there to necessarily learn. You're there to pass time. You're there to escape from whatever it is. So make a clip or something that doesn't take any brain power. You're making them happy for a second. So if I'm making a video to educate, I go to YouTube. And if I'm thinking, man, this water bottle's awesome, dude, I'm going to do something with this water bottle, I'll clip it and put it on my short form videos. But very rarely can you truly educate somebody in 60 seconds or less, because in most of those platforms, they're not there for the education side. They're there for the entertainment or the escape from life type moment. That's my opinion. But I say that. I've also had a lot of people say, dude, that one little video that you did and it was like this, it's opened my mind. I learned something in that 30 seconds. But there's no answer. There's the way I do it is the only way, the way you do it is the only way. All of us kind of find the thing that works for us, and you just got to play around if that's what matters. I never did. I just said, hey, this is what I like. It's a cool video. I'm going to post it. If you don't like it, there's probably 1 million people that still like that video. They just got to find it, So,
do you ever deal with trolls? People coming after you for maybe tools you're using or install practices?
Oh yeah, dude. I always find that if a video goes viral, the trolls come out. It's because it's fed then to people that aren't in the industry. Mm-hmm. If you're doing good stuff, they're going to have people that will think you're doing it wrong. And 90% of the time, they probably are rooted in some truth. They have a reason they think you're doing it wrong. It may be because they're from a different area of the country and they vapor barriers don't, whatever. Right. And so I usually look at a troll comment and I think, okay, is there something behind it? Or is it strictly this person is just having a bad day and they're just negative, whatever. But 99% of the time, I reach out to them.
Yeah.
And I will ask it. And I will ask the question, or I will come back, and it never fails. They're like, oh, no, dude, no, I think you misunderstood me, man. I love your content. They don't have the balls to have a conversation,
right,
but they will definitely make a quick comment because they're just in the moment, you know?
Right.
So, yeah, trolls, I kind of like it because I have learned a lot about being a better builder. And half the time, I probably already know they're going to make the comment because I see something in my process or my build that I know I need to work on and get better at, and it's kind of like, well, I'm just not there yet. I don't have that figured out. I'm not good enough for that or whatever it is, but it's what I'm doing. I post it. I'm not afraid of it because at the same time, that's how you learn, you know?
Seeing that vulnerability, I do enjoy that because years ago, probably similar to you, we were posting a video about an integrated gutter, right? An architect and engineer came out with it. It's a modern home. And a lot of people reach out to me in the comments and DMs. Hey, this could be a logistical nightmare. It could be a problem, class action lawsuit. And what's interesting is, so as a builder, a lot of times there's not a negativity. You can take it to be negative, or ruin your day. Or you can look at it as being educational. Okay, well, let me see if there's a better way to do this detail. You know, or maybe I could do something that I'm not paying attention to that's going to have CYA later.
100%. People will love to tell you you're doing it wrong, but they even more so love to tell you how to do it right. So you can learn, and I'm telling you, man, you go back to my early posts and then look at us now. That's not on me. That's on like all the people that have shared how they do it, or I've seen it done other ways. You know, I don't take credit for what we do entirely. I take credit for how we execute it. That's about it.
Any questions from the audience? Yes. You speak loud and I'll repeat it. We got Emily has a microphone. We'll repeat it for the audience.
First off, just going back to getting started, you kind of already touched a little bit, going back a little bit. I've had my business for about 5 years, general contracting, and up until this point I've done zero social media, like no personal, no business. It's all been word of mouth, and last year, this year, we're consistently booking out a year. But I do want to get into doing social media and having that brand, because like you, I'm passionate about it, right? I think we have an amazing work environment. When I'm done with a project, I love it, our client loves it. I want to share it, not just for me, but for them as well, so they can then share it, and people get behind us. So I guess my question is, what's your advice to someone in that position to getting started? Like, what's the starting point look like for you guys?
If you're starting out, he's had a successful business 5 years, he's booked out a year, what strategies to start out on social media?
Dude, you're passionate about it? Snap a picture, post it. Don't overthink it. That's the biggest thing, because at the end of the day, if you're starting out at zero, nobody's even going to look at it and give you a hard time anyway. You know? And so that's the thing, is like, if you love it, that's all that matters. If you think, man, that picture I took or this little clip I did is good, do it. Will everybody love it? No. They don't love my stuff. There's people that don't like what we put out, but it doesn't matter because that's what we're doing for ourselves, not for other people. But yeah.
We have a few minutes left before Kyle's going to be heading elsewhere. Any other questions from the audience? Right now, so okay, as you guys maybe think of a question, legacy, you've spoken about that. It's kind of a two-part question. You know, your personal legacy of what that is for you, Kyle. Family, father, husband, you know, and the company itself. But also you have to maybe start thinking about exit strategy. Maybe you haven't. You know, as you think down the line, what does it look like? Do you plan on selling the company? I mean, have you thought about what that long-term strategy is?
Man, that's it's funny because I'm 42. What are you, Brad? Like,
I'm 45.
Are you? Yeah. So you think about, I mean, you're doing something that I think you could continue to do for a while. I'm not. Physically, I'm not. And I always feel like my whole life has been me being tougher, stronger, faster than people around me are trying to be, right?
Yeah, you're 42.
And now I'm 42, and I'm realizing that it's like that good Toby Keith song, I'm not as good as I once was, and I'm as good once as I ever was. Every day I still go out and try to perform at that same level, and Greg's 10 years younger than me. So, like, he's 10 years younger than me. And he's always like, man, 30-year-old Kyle was a different guy, you know? Like, you're 40 now. And so I start thinking about, what does this look like? Because how do I get away from something I love without being super unhappy. How do you exit this thing that you've built? And I don't have the ego where I feel like RR Buildings has to go on. Yeah. My son, if he wanted to do it, that would have been great. He's now he's doing his own thing, and God bless him, man. I want him to, chase his passion.
Yeah.
And Greg, if he wants to do it, God bless him, man. I'll let him have it. There's no I need to be a part of it. When I'm done, when I can't do what I love every day, I'm not just going to stick around to keep making money, because there's going to be something else that I will be passionate about that I will still be able to do.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I don't want to be one of these old timers that can't do something else because their identity's wrapped up in one thing and they can't let that go. Like, this has been a great ride and I'm going to do it as long as possible. But I don't want to think about what's 5-10 years away, because that will change the way I think about this year. Mm-hmm. So exit strategy, I don't think it's that deep. I'm not going to sell the business. I'm not going to try to sell RR and have somebody else do it, even if they say, hey man, I'll give you all this money.
Yeah.
That's not what it's about for me. Like it was a lifestyle. Quick story. I remember the very first job I had was a siding job, vinyl siding, and I got done with it and I got all this money, right? And I told my wife, I said, look at this. This took me, it was like 2 weeks. I said, this was more than I made in a month at my old job when I was corporate, right? But I only got to work 2 weeks out of the month, and I can make more money. We can go on vacation. We can have this great lifestyle. Like, that's what I did it for. And I just, if I'm not having the lifestyle I want, I'm done. I just will walk away, But I don't want to ruin that thinking about that because I'm enjoying it right now.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, that's the reality is you have bags on, hands on, and so at some point you think about that, but for the time being.
Yeah, I couldn't be in an office managing it. I just can't do it. It's not my personality. So if I can't be bags on, then I don't want to be a part of this. I don't want to be a part of my business, because I think I would be very sad, and that's not what I want.
So what do you do for fun? Do you ever have time to take breaks?
Man, I love traveling. I want to travel. I want to see the world. I got 2 puppies that I absolutely love. My son is in college. He's singing, and I love going and watching that. My daughter, now she's in track. I just got off the phone with my wife. She's like, the school's got a pole vault pit that they're getting rid of. She's a pole vaulter. I was a pole vaulter. She's like, let's get it. Let's put it in the backyard. I'm like, oh, man. So, that's what I love, man. I got tons of hobbies. I'll tinker. I'll do tons of things. I'll play with Legos. I'll play with video games. I'll do a lot of things, man. But I just love my family. That's genuine. I want to spend as much time before the kids are gone. And then, I don't know.
It's amazing. I have 2 daughters pole vaulting, one in college, one in high school.
I didn't know you had pole vault daughters.
2. And my brother, he pole vaulted actually for BYU, years ago. He has our high school record still. So runs in the family. I was a high jumper, but I think we have another question out here from the audience.
I got one for you. What is one thing you think builders still aren't getting right in the high performance side of construction?
Okay, what are builders still not getting right for the high performance side of construction? Kyle, you want to take a stab first?
Do you take that one first?
You want me to take this one?
Yeah.
I think it's a tough question. I think there's multi-layered, but I think it's really understanding the thermal bridging side. There's a lot of different philosophies of how to enclose a structure, from net zero. And so it's really understanding that install, to eliminate that thermal bridging so you can really create that tight envelope. Specifically, I know in Arizona when we were doing it, we insulated underneath the concrete slab. That's something that's really not happening in Arizona. And then how you build that continuous exterior and design a home where you can still have a lot of windows and glazing, but hit that high level. But I think a lot of people use the term high efficiency building or energy efficiency without understanding the ventilation aspect, right? Because ventilation plays a key role in that as well.
Yeah, I think my answer, I kind of gave it to you earlier, actually. It's going to be a little bit negative, I think. And I think it is that our industry has gotten very, very focused on high-end products, okay? And I think a lot of times guys are trying to build high performance, going out and spending all this money to have the best stuff, but it falls on the guys that are installing it. And I think that's what we're still doing wrong, is we're trying to innovate and make the best products, but we need to innovate and make the best applications. We need to make the best training. We need people to, I take it to my line of the world, right? Or my scope of building a barn. It's about as simple as it gets. Our last 3 houses were all sub-passive, and it's not because we used the most expensive, right? WeatherLogic is what we used,
Yeah.
but it's about the fact that, you know, it's application, it's being very diligent on your details. And I think that when money is involved, everybody's going to do it faster and you're going to miss things. And that's my answer. I think that's what we're doing wrong. I think we're focusing a little bit on the wrong spot in order to build performance.
Well, and in fairness, you know, here behind me we have the LP Tech Shield radiant barrier sheeting. We use a lot of it. I mean, you think about that cost, it's not a crazy cost. Clients, you have to educate them on that, on the value proposition, because they're going to see on Instagram, to Kyle's point, hey Brad, I want this amazing kitchen, this beautiful range, this, you know, these appliances and this flooring. And so it's that education side where, yes, there's a lipstick element, and not to disregard that innovation, but you have to look at the envelope itself. So, well, I appreciate all you guys attending today. Kyle, a huge thanks for joining the podcast.
One more question.
Oh, we have one more. Okay.
So as a new general trying to break into the social media world, do you still edit your own videos?
Okay, so the question is for Kyle, as a new builder coming in doing social media, do you still edit them in the truck at night as Greg's driving?
No, so I do all my own like short form now. I hired an editor to rough cut. I mean, I've got probably 250 gig of like video every day coming off the cameras. I got multiple cameras set up, and I told the story that my kids are getting older. I made the decision about 2 years ago, I need to fix this. I need to spend as much time as possible. I saw the end, and so I do the final edit now. So it's like, take this, turn it into the story, and then I'm going to compress it to the right way I want to. But I just do all my short form. That's like you're walking from one side of the job site to the other. You're just quick at it, you know, and yeah, so.
Using software.
Do you use any software?
So I mean, I personally just do it in iMovie on my phone, or if I'm at home with something a little bigger, I'll use Final Cut Pro, but it doesn't have to be fancy. That's the thing. And the next question is always, what cameras do I need to use?
Yeah.
That's not important, but mics are important.
Yeah,
You
mics
know,
are important.
Mics are important, so it's clear. People will watch a crappy video with low quality. They'll just assume that it's like their, you know, internet or whatever. But if they can't understand you, they'll just swipe away. Yep.
Yeah. So that's great advice. As you're thinking about that, I mean, to Kyle's point, I think a lot of us early on did our own editing. Later you can sub that out. You have to in the early beginning, but once you can sub that out, editing takes the most time. Glad.
Yeah.
Anyways, Kyle, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Brad, always, man. You've
been a great friend of mine for a long time. Huge inspiration, and we appreciate you guys.
Yeah, big thanks to LP for putting this
Thanks to
together.
LP Billasuser for putting this on. While you're here in the booth, make sure you check out all these incredible products that Kyle and I use. Specifically, you can see the LP Burn Guard. They were nominated for Best of Show with IBS, so go check that out. This is, as we're talking about cost, you know, from a flame product, a flame retardant product that's integrated into the sheathing that we're already using. So again, little plug that for LP on that, and thank you for coming by, guys.